a Russian Air Force Il-76 airlifter was rolling down the runway at Saki Air Base in Russian-occupied Crimea on Tuesday afternoon when something, or several somethings, exploded hundreds of yards behind it. As many as a dozen blasts rocked the sprawling base, which houses the Russian Black Sea Fleet's 43rd Independent Naval Attack Aviation Regiment and other units. Fireballs rolled into the sky, feeding a pall of black smoke and startling tourists sunbathing on nearby beaches. The Kremlin claimed the explosions were the result of an accident. But the near-simultaneous blasts across the airfield indicated otherwise. It clearly was a Ukrainian attack. But exactly how the Ukrainians hit this major Russian facility 120 miles from the front line remains unclear. But they had options. In the 5 months since Russia widened its war in Ukraine, the Ukrainian armed forces have deployed more and better means of conducting deep strikes. Even 100 miles from the front, the Russians are vulnerable. The Saki base immediately prior to the attack housed around a dozen each Su-24 bombers and Su-30 fighters plus Mi-8 helicopters in the Il-76, according to commercial satellite imagery. At least one of the Su-24s was destroyed in the Tuesday attack along with several support vehicles and possibly one of the base's munitions dumps, if videos and photos of the damaged base are any indications. It's possible the damage is much more extensive than the initial evidence implies. The Tuesday raid marks the latest escalation by Ukrainian forces that steadily are growing more adept at pinpointing and hitting Russian bases, supply lines and command posts, sometimes inside Russia itself. It also signals the ongoing degradation of the Black Sea Fleet. In 5 months of missile and drone strikes, the Ukrainian Navy has sunk the fleet's flagship, Moskva, in addition to several support ships, amphibious vessels, patrol boats and landing craft. A Ukrainian drone bombed a Black Sea Fleet headquarters in Crimea in the middle of a ceremony marking Russia's annual Navy Day holiday last month. Even if the Saki base personnel quickly repair the damage and replace any wrecked aircraft, the Tuesday attack was a propaganda victory for Ukraine. The Ministry of Defense of Ukraine would like to remind everyone that the presence of occupying troops on the territory of Ukrainian Crimea is not compatible with the high tourist season, the ministry quipped on Twitter. The roster of systems the Ukrainians could have used to strike Saki is testimony to their growing deep strike capabilities.